You are welcome to PMO Strategies podcast, Strategies Corner podcast for capturing of view, experience, knowledge, and wisdom of the learned speaker on the areas of business complexities. So here I'm going to take you through the area of PMO strategies, a very brief introduction to PMO strategies, my own introduction, then how we are going to go through the areas uh, that will be of interest to you, and uh, and then finally I will come to the learned speaker to share his knowledge and experience, and then finally, before closing, I'm going to share what PMO strategies can provide services to you and to the businesses. So let me share the purpose of this business PMO strategies podcast. Strategist podcast. The purpose essentially is to capture the knowledge, experience, and wisdom of the learner speaker on the business complexities, how they have been able to manage that, and what they feel can help the businesses and professionals to move to the next level. So this is what the basic purpose is. With this, my introduction is, as you can see, Aslam Mirza is my name. Assalamu alaikum. I am PMO Strategies founder and CEO. I would particularly invite your attention to my four books, which are written under the theme of Aura. Aura is essentially an environment of distinctive energy surrounding a person or a team who have acquired that level of knowledge and experience and competence to move to their desired goals and desired advancements. So that is what the purpose is, and these four books are essentially written in that line. That is, R goes for applying project management principles for organizational transformation. U goes for understanding human factors and workplace environment. R goes for respecting diversity, building team, meaningfulness, and growing to leadership. Again, R that goes for agility in project management and collaboration. So having all these four areas of knowledge, any individual, professional, or a team can reach to a competence level where they can easily move to their desired goals in career or in advance in business. So that's the basic thing I just wanted to share with you. And let me now go to the learned speaker, who is Dr. Ahmed AbdelSalam. He is a very learned person, have extensive exposure, and primarily he is a construction engineer, and he has spent and his PhD is also in construction and civil engineering. I may not be able to bring you the complete introduction, so I will request Dr. Ahmed to please share his brief profile so that my prospective participants can enjoy your exposure and your knowledge. Dr. Ahmed, please.
No, thanks, Muhammad, for this introduction. So let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Ahmed AbdelSalam. I have a background actually in structural engineering. So I graduated as a structural engineer. I have my master's degree in structural engineering. Then I decided to pursue a different route. So I got my PhD in construction engineering and management from Purdue University. Also, like I've been a teaching assistant, research assistant in structure in Cairo University and Purdue University. I'm a member of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. So I'm a member, a qualified chartered surveyor in the cost quantity surveying side of the PMO. And also I'm a project management professional, obtained my certification from the PMI. So that's more, on the academic or certification side. However, I've been working also in different side of the industry, right? I've been working on the engineering side, designing steel and concrete buildings. And I worked on the owner side for a real estate company. I worked as a subcontractor with an electrical subcontractor. I worked with Turner Construction on the contracting side. And then most of my career was really on the owner rep. So I've been working with CBRE, Coming Group, CBRE again, which is now Turner and Townsend. So I've been managing mega programs, over $1 billion program, from a project controls perspective, cost, schedule, finance, risk, change management, all of these things. So I'd be happy to share my knowledge and experience today with you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed. It's really lovely to have you here and to capture your knowledge, experience, and wisdom. So let me go to the next area, which is the basic purpose of this podcast. I have captured the business complexities out here, which is essentially to start from external, internal, operational, and strategic, because whatever is happening in the external environment, and organizations are required to deal with them, and not only in an effectively, but also to manage their internal setup to withstand those challenges and go with the knowledge and particularly business flow. So in the external area, the pressures make the organizations to develop their competence in the internal arena, and that internal arena affects the operational area to manage and go with the business flow. So these areas essentially brings down and make effects the strategic advancements, because the strategic advancements is really important for every business to stay in business and to continue with their growth. So these four areas are essentially the basic challenges which brings businesses under pressure all the time. And the present area where every morning and every time businesses are facing different type of complexities and uncertainties, which are adding to their worries and their challenges to move in their required strategic directions. So I won't go into each area, but I will request Dr. Ahmed to share his knowledge and experience, how he feels to move and how he has been able to move his businesses wherever he was working, and how he managed the things to move on. That is my first question. So let me make that question once again. How are you managing business advancements in the prevalent challenges of business complexities? That is the first question with reference to the business complexities. Dr. Ahmed, please.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, thanks for bringing up this slide. You know, there's a lot in it, lots of insight, lots of things that I can touch base on. And I would say, like, I've worked in small companies, I've worked in very large companies and large, complex projects. I worked for the 500 Fortune companies managing their mega programs. And I worked for a small company, which could be considered a startup as well, right, in the construction industry, which is everything you manage is the same. It's just the size of the project. It's just the complexity of the project. So with small companies, you do everything. Whenever it comes to large companies, complex projects, you need to have experts for everything, right? So I would start really with strategic, because this is how it differentiates between different companies, how companies grows versus other companies fail, right? So strategically, you need to have a strategic leader. You need to have a leader who has a vision, right? So if you don't have the vision, you won't be able to adapt to the technology, to any, like for example, with when the iPhone started, right? So other companies who didn't adapt to the new technology were lost on the way, correct? So a visionary leader is always important, to be able to adapt to innovation and foster new technologies. Just some examples, in the real world and the construction things that I've witnessed, I've worked on. In one of the 500 Fortune companies I was managing their project controls, there was a complete setup for a digital transformation team, a budget, a schedule, but they didn't know what they're going to build yet, right? they wanted to build something new. They wanted to be the one who innovate and initiate a new digital transformation, but they didn't know it. So on the construction side, we had to make sure we have all the infrastructure that support it, although we didn't know what they're going to build, right? So there was a budget for it, timeline, and then we were very prepared and planned whenever they are ready to install it and incorporate it to the construction buildings when it's ready, right? So that's one of the mentalities and the mindset of growing and strategic leadership. On the other side, I worked also with, leaders who are just focusing on the meeting, like who's attending online versus who's in the office, what they are wearing in the meeting, So just focusing on the minutiae things of running a very mega project or a mega program just make you lose track and focus, and the project fail, and the leader just can't do it. So just different mentalities on the strategic part, right? And then I would say, like, on the external side, so really in the work, not only in the construction industry but in different industries, you can't really control external factors. However, you can monitor and track and take mitigational actions, right? So as an example, like the supply chain, you can control when would be a disruption to the supply chain. It's something externally, but you can monitor what's going on in the world. It's not even only in the US, because supply chain affects, you've seen like the tariff and supply chain issue during the COVID time. All of these affects all the construction projects, right? So you can't control it, but at the same time you can monitor it. So you're monitoring the delays, you're monitoring what's happening, you're monitoring the new lead time, and then you take mitigational actions by, for example, ordering specific items early so it doesn't delay the project. At the same time, doing this, you would need to, okay, where are we going to store it until it's time to install it? So there's storage, there's logistics, there's a lot of, I would say, risk management that should happen to be able to, I wouldn't say control the external factor, but control the impact of the external factors. So in complex project, there's a lot of external factors that affect it, especially during the past few years. COVID times and supply chain issues, and tariffs and everything. But definitely we can have a robust risk management procedures in place to be able to mitigate its impact as much as we can, right? I would say operationally, it's really one of the things I love doing because streamlining processes is how business thrives, right? So I love streamlining the processes for any program. So when I gone into different programs and projects, the first thing I ask, what tools are you using? What's your process? What's your cadence? And let's find the gaps to be able to, bridge any gaps that we have. So I go and, okay, we need to streamline the process for funding, for cash flow, for cost reporting, for having a master schedule in place, for document management. So you need to have a streamlined process, understand your business, understand the project in order to streamline the process for it, because every business is different, every industry is different. So there is always a learning curve at the beginning of every project before and identifying the gaps before developing and streamlining the processes. And then it comes with trial, testing, and then everything is just having a cadence and it's just going automatically, right? So streamlining the process is really important. The methodologies used is really important. And also the tools, like we lack I wouldn't say like the efficient construction management tools. We have plenty of tools like Procore, Prolog, Project Insights, eBuilder. There's a lot of construction management, PMI, they call it PMIS tools. However, you have to identify the best tool for the project, what do you need from it, and how will you utilize it and use it to manage your program. So, and the tools are not really cheap. They are expensive sometimes, but for complex project and billion-dollar project, you need to think differently because it's really worth it, right? So that's from an operational perspective. So do you have first any comment before I keep going?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you have very correctly said that the external pressures are out of your control, and there you can only monitor that what is really happening, which is going to impact negatively or positively into your internal and operational setups. So you have very correctly said that. I love that. I would say that that is what you have captured, and that's really very impressive, and it's
Yeah,
important.
and
I
yes,
would,
and
yeah, please.
sorry to cut you off. I just didn't go like to the most important part of it, at least for me, is the internal like section, right? And
That's right.
internal, that's really important because this is your team, right? So whenever I'm building a team, I've built many teams, and actually like I founded a charity foundation and development foundation model back in Egypt 10 years ago, maybe more. And building teams is really important. Building culture is really important. Even like during my construction career, I've been very focused on how to build a team, right? People always focus on, mainly for me, like three things. They being fairly paid, fair compensation, growing opportunities, and work culture, right? So if you are able as a leader to provide these three things, you will have a great team, a loyal team, passionate team who can help you, accomplish your goals. So I was always focused, okay, hiring the best people. That's the first thing. Just find the best people and hire them, pay them fairly, and then build the culture in order they are able to excel. So that's really, important for me. And always communicate with the team member. I'm not always the person in charge of making the decisions, right? To give them a raise, increase, or, promote them. But at the same time, I have the ability to communicate, to explain to them what I can do, what I can do. Just don't give promises that I can do, right? That this is my authority. This is what I can give you. This is how I can help you grow. And then just let them know, and let them excel on it. I've worked with different companies, different culture, without specific names, but there's companies who foster this culture of communicating with the team members, trying to help them grow, train them, and other, just say they need us, they won't leave because, for example, we're sponsoring their visa, right? And it's yeah, but whenever they don't need you, they will leave. So that shouldn't be the mentality of just thinking that because they need the money or they need training or they need whatever, they are staying. I want them to stay because they like working with us, to stay because they feel that we are fair to them. There's a positive culture that we work in, right? So, and also it's always important from an organizational culture perspective and organization to define what I call the RACI, like roles, accountability, the roles and responsibilities for every individual, and everyone knows what's their role, what's their KPIs, and empower them, and give them the tools to be able to accomplish their goals. You just can't tell them this is your goal, but there is no coaching on how to accomplish it. So give them goals, KPIs, set expectations, and provide the tools and empower and coach along the way. So really internally is the most important, because I've seen companies fail. They are strategically, they have the goals, they adopt innovation, they have an operational workflow, they control external factors, but internally they always have a very high turnover rate, and they can't adapt to the market because internally they have an issue. So that's also a very important factor.
Very right, very right. Because internal area is the area which really brings the strength and the competence of the organization. So there you have said that you have been involved in developing the teams and managing culture. I would really love to know what were your take on DEI and B, that is diversity, equity, inclusivity, and belonging. How you were able to manage that?
No, definitely that was really part of the internal importance, or to manage a project. So always having a diverse team. Like I was managing a team that has, first, diverse culture, diverse personalities, diverse expertise as well, which is really important, because I need someone who's very expert in doing the operational finance work, but at the same time, I need one who has the knowledge in construction estimating, right? So it's always good to have diverse backgrounds, diverse way of thinking, because it all brings inclusion to the project. Also, like, I include the team and engage them on how we're thinking and how we're moving forward. So even with different functions, like I had scheduler, cost, finance, work stream, internal communication, but all of us have a weekly meeting, right? That we everything say what he's doing, if he needs any help from anyone else, and how we can collaborate together to achieve the team's goal, not their own goal. So everyone is supporting each other, and reaching the team's goal together. So that's how I manage it.
Great, great. Well, the internal strength helps you to create and go with the change management. Here, I would like to know from you that how you were able to develop your team for resilience and adaptability. How you were able to manage that.
It's always about communication, right? So I'm always like communicating with my team members, engaging them in everything I'm trying to achieve. I have one-on-one with everyone, working on the goals together. Tell them, okay, we need to reach this goal. What we're currently doing, we need to improve it. We need to enhance it. So how can we do this? Get their opinion, start working together. I'm a hands-on person. So my leadership style is more of working with the team rather than just telling them what to do. So we work together, streamline the process, and then start, getting feedback, trying things, and working on together. So this is how we achieve our goals together.
In this area, did you also take the support of AI?
So AI actually in the construction world, it's not, I would say it's not stable, it's not adopted well yet, but I'm sure we will use it in the future, right? But now I think people are mostly using it in the construction world to write emails. But having it in the, let's say in a scheduling software or in a cost estimating, cost reporting, it's not really adopted yet, right? But they are trying, and I'm sure there will be something soon.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course, I can understand because they want to be more careful and wants to go on the only known path. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and again, I'm not with with the opinion that says AI would replace employees, because definitely if you're not adopting to new technology, you would be replaced regardless what, right? But at the same time, you need to learn how to use it, because
that's right.
Especially in the construction world, AI can't go and build buildings, right? They can't go and do the updates themselves. They need to have human input. There's engagement. Whenever we're doing a cash flow, for example, some guy will do like an S curve. So an AI can do it, but it's not always an S curve. You need to engage all the vendors, all the contractors, all the team members, and then do the calculation and make sure, okay, this is how we're going to present and achieve our cash flow. So AI would be a tool like any other tool, but it's more powerful, it's useful. You just need to learn how to use it in your job.
That's right. Of course, without having that knowledge, you cannot make the best use of AI. And there, essentially, it complements the competence of individuals. And if you are able to do that, then only you can capture the real benefits. I totally agree with that. Okay, let me move to the next question, and that is, what is your viewpoint on moving to the next level of performance? What would you advise to the business managers and the professionals? What should they do and take up for moving to the next level of performance?
Yeah, definitely. And two things, like the business owners, I would say, and then the employees. So for the business owner, just summing up everything we've said, like they need to hire strategic people, right? Strategic leaders, has vision. They need to have a process in place. They need to have a good culture and be able to retain and grow their team members, and controlling and managing the program's risks. So that's really for the business owners. For the employees, it's really depend. Like just look into a career or a company that you can grow, you can excel, you can show your input and focus on your career. Sometimes you're not getting the best pay, you're not getting the best of everything, but at some point you will reach this. You will achieve it because you're working hard, you're focusing on your career, you're growing. So just focus on yourself, and things will come in place at the right time.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
just one last thing, like when it comes to complex projects, it's the difference between running a small project like being a project manager. So project managers run small projects on their own, right? But when it comes to complex and large projects, you need to have a PMO team. Project controls, it's part of the PMO, of course. And that the reason for that is you need to be able to standardize, analyze, and report, and have experts in every function. A project manager can do it all when it's a small project, but it's always a collaborative work when it goes to mega and complex projects.
Right, right, very true. In that area, what would you advise to the upcoming professionals who are moving in their career that they should know their area of strength to start with and the purpose? If they are able to find their purpose and area of strength, then their advancement in the career can be unmatched, and they can reach to their potential performance. So, what is your take on that?
No, totally, and I agree with everything you said. Like, they should focus on something, learn it, learn everything about it. Like, let's say for the cost managers, right? They need to learn estimating. They need to learn cost control. They need to learn the tools that should be used, and focus on always growing. And at the same time, networking is really important for all employees, right? So you always need to have a good network, good relation, communications with everyone. It's not, I know a lot of people who just go to the office, stay on their desk, do their job, and go back home. They do it well, but that's not how you grow. You need to network with everyone, engage, learn from each other, so you can easily grow. So that's my advice. Just always engage, always network, and learn the latest about your career.
Very right. Very right. Thank you very much for this advice. Okay, now let me move to the final stage of our podcast. What PMO strategies brings to the business industries? Here are the consulting services. It is essentially spelled out that the PMO strategies can help or helping the businesses to have diagnostic assessment of gaps in strategy and execution. Further on, strategic alignment. I'm sorry. Strategic alignment and discipline strategy execution. In fact, the alignment and discipline strategy execution is the foremost important area for any organizations to move in their strategic direction, because PMI has come up with their research-based advice that hardly 40 to 45% organizations are successful in implementing their defined strategy, and that is the mismanagement starts from the alignment. Whatever goals they have, if the projects or advancements is not taking place in that line, that they will never be able to reach to their desired goals. So that is the area where PMO strategies can help the businesses and help them to move in that direction. And for that, whatever gaps are there, that management can be done by the PMO strategies independently. So this is the area which is foremost important for the businesses to consider and think of. The second area is PMO functions and optimization. Here, the PMO establishment and functions optimization. If the organizations have got their own PMO, that can be evaluated, that can be diagnostic assessment can be taken up, and find out if there are gaps in their functions, in their advancements, in their competence, that can be made up. So this is the second area. Third area is change management and cultural transformation, because projects are implemented for the change. And if that change is not taking place in an effective manner, then of course, organizations cannot move to their desired goals and to the desired outcomes, which is essentially satisfaction to the customers. So that change management and cultural transformation can be managed can be helped by PMO strategies. The fourth area is leadership development, mentoring and coaching. Leadership is the basic ingredient which is required for developing cultural transformation and change management. So without having leadership concept and competence, no organizations can think of moving in any direction they want to. So that is the area. Finally, PMO strategies can have effectively help the businesses to move on. Further on, this all requires upskilling and training. So that area is also covered by PMO strategies. PMO strategies helps organizations to build resilience and adaptability in teams and leaders by training, by coaching, and by supporting them. Enhancing communication and collaboration. Any organizations have the backbone of any organization is the communication. If the communication is strong, is have got well defined, and all the people are effectively involved, then only they will be able to move to their required directions and to their required goals. So that can be managed, can be developed, and can be helped in an organization. Driving innovation and creativity. The present time, it is said that the world has entered into an economy of innovation. So that means innovation and creativity is the basic requirement for any organizations to move on, and this requires to be developed certain atmosphere and certain setup in the organizations, and the teams are required to be trained for that. So that again is the area where PMO strategies can help the organizations to have that. Developing strategic thinking and problem solving. The strategic thinking essentially starts from growth mindset and strategic leadership. So this thinking and growth mindset needs to be developed in an organization. That also can be developed through training and through coaching and through supporting the team members. That can be done, and that is done by PMO in an effective manner, which also helps to go with the problem solving. With this, thank you very much, and let me finally thank you again for your time, for your interest, and for your learning interest. Before I close it down, I will request Dr. Ahmed if something finally he wants to share with the participant. Please, Dr. Ahmed.
Yeah, sure. And thank you for this invitation. It's really insightful. I like, all of these discussions, sharing knowledge and experience with others. Yeah, no, just the closing words is more of like focusing on people, experts, making sure like it's about people and people who are like the employees. If you take care of your employees, this is how you grow your business. So always focus on the people, and then your people will let your business grow and take care of the business.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor. With this, let me close the recording, and let me close the